Hey everybody. I didn't get a whole lot of feedback about the idea to just read the Bible and respond to it, but I'm doing it anyway, just to defy all of you. I'm going to start, of course, with Genesis 1. The first few chapters in Genesis I've read quite a few times and I've got a lot of thoughts on, so let's get this started. I'm going with the New International Version. So here we go, Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, whatever the deep was. I guess they mean space, maybe. Well, they didn't know what space was, so I don't know what they meant. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Yes, hovering, because a spirit's a physical thing that hovers. And God said, "Let there be light." Even though he didn't really seem to have a mouth, but whatever, he said it, and there was light. No real explanation there, just there was light. I guess that's good enough for most Christians. God saw that the light was good, don't know what that matters, and he separated the light from the darkness. Was the darkness good? Was it mixed up with darkness when he first created it? I don't get that either. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. How did you know there was morning? Because the light. But there's no sun yet. There's no moon. So there's just light coming from nowhere. There was light. There just was. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." What? To separate water from water. Okay, they didn't say anything about there being any water previously before this. This is the first mention of water in the whole Bible. And yes, granted, it's at the beginning. It's not really explained. It's not at the beginning enough. So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. And it was so. What a weird thing to put at the end of all that. I've heard the theory of the sky dome, or the dome of ice, or the layer of ice over the earth that was supposedly fell and caused the flood, but obviously that's nonsense. I don't think even many Christians subscribe to that theory, that hypothesis. But yeah, so this doesn't make a lot of sense either. Anyone who wants to explain any of this, feel free to do that. God called the vault sky. Because the sky is blue, so I guess they might think that the sky is made of water. It's not. It contains water, but it's not made of water. We all know that now. And there was evening, and there was morning the second day. Still no sun, still no moon. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." Let dry ground appear. So, dry ground was being prevented from appearing before this, and he didn't necessarily cause it to appear, but he just stopped it from not appearing. That's kind of what it sounds like here. And it was so. Another random, and it happened. Whatever. God called the dry ground land, and gathered waters he called seas. What did he call the waters in the sky? No word for that one. Anyway, and God saw it was good. More stuff that's good. Might it not have been good? Oh well. Let's see, verse 11. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. Still no sun. There's lights coming from we don't know where, but there's no sun still. Okay. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seeds according to their kinds. this is what a lot of people use to argue against can't think of the word. I'm just going to move on then. Not going to sit here for an hour trying to think of a word. Let's see, where am I? And let's see, trees bearing fruit with seeds in it according to their kinds. And God saw it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate day from night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years." Now this is the first major weird thing in the Bible. In Genesis 1:4, he separated the light from darkness. Then in Genesis 1:14, he creates lights in the vault of the sky to separate day from night. They were already separate at this point, so why do it again? And let them, anyway, moving on. And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. Did he ever? Okay, I was just seeing if he had referred to it as earth before that. Yahweh hadn't specifically called it earth yet, but the story calls it earth in the very beginning, so whatever. I'll let that one pass. Let's see. And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day. Here he finally creates the sun. And the lesser light to govern the night, because the moon is a light. For all they knew it was a light. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. Why put a light in the sky when it's dark? To separate light from darkness. If there's a light, isn't it kind of making there be less separation? Oh well. And God saw that it was good. Every time he creates something, he's seeing that it's good. That's going to be significant later, in my opinion. So watch out for that. Anyway, and there was evening, and there was morning the fourth day. Days here kind of make sense. They go from a day starts in the morning when the sun comes up, and it ends in the evening when the sun goes down. This is the way I think it should be, but instead we have days starting at midnight, which is the middle of the night, which makes no sense to me. But anyway, Genesis 1:20, and God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems, and that moves about in it according to their kinds. According to their kinds. It keeps saying that. And every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. The animals were good. They're all good. Everything is good so far. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful," because they could understand him, "and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." Now what is this? Fill the water in the seas. He already caused the water to teem with living creatures. How are they going to fill something that's already full? Oh well, whatever. Let's see. God blessed them. Oh yeah, I already read that. And there was evening, and there was morning the fifth day. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock. I'm going to go ahead now and look up the definition of livestock. There's nothing but animals, plants, water, and ground so far. Animals kept for sale, animals raised for food or other products, or kept for use, especially farm animals such as meat, blah blah blah. Okay, so livestock is an animal that's used by humans for food or whatever, or for sale. But whoever buys the animal eats it, I assume. So livestock is created before there are people to use them as livestock. Very interesting. The creatures that move along the ground and the wild animals according to his kind, and it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Good. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness. Some people will say that he was talking to, that this was, I guess, the Holy Spirit talking to the Father and the Son, that there were three of them. While actually the early Jews believed in multiple gods. They thought that Yahweh, or El, they thought he was like the main god, and then there were lesser gods in addition to him. Anyway, and then God said, let us make mankind in our image and our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky. What does it mean to rule over the birds in the sea, the birds in the sky and the fish in the sea? I don't know. Over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image, meaning God has an image. So he is not just an immaterial spirit. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Even in this version of the Bible, there's a lot of really weird wording that doesn't really make any sense. God blessed them. What does blessing them actually mean? Does it just mean he gave them his approval? I don't know. And said unto them, be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Subdue the earth. Christians love that. They love subduing the earth. Rule over the fish in the sea, and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. And God said, I will give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth. It's a lot of seed-bearing plants. And every tree that has fruit with seed in it. Is there fruit without seed in it? Maybe there were seedless watermelons. Maybe. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. This is interesting, because a lot of apologists, or some apologists, especially Jehovah's Witnesses, they like to say that all the animals in the world in the beginning were vegetarians. And this seems to support that view. Genesis 1:30 basically says that every animal eats plants. Green plants. Only green plants. Maybe that's why apples were forbidden, because they weren't green. Although it never actually says apples, but whatever. I don't know. Just a weird thought. Okay, God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. He could see that it was good. And I find that a little interesting too, just a little. Because that means if he could see that it was good, there must have been something to compare it to. There must have been an alternative. Good and evil, good and bad, they seemed to already exist in this story, in this universe. So, yeah, it's not that everything was good by default. Or that Yahweh was only capable, or that El was only capable of creating good things. It's that he just happened to create things that were good. So there we go. That's Genesis 1. We know Genesis 2 contradicts it a lot and basically retells the story, and that's going to be a less exciting episode, but whatever. You're going to go through it, you're going to listen to it, and you're going to like it. So I will see you next time.